For any business to succeed, it needs to be clear on its finances. And not only just on your debt. You're going to need to be clear on your income, on your assets, on your expenses. You're going to need to use that clarity to come up with two very important numbers. Your settlement target amount. This is the total amount of money that you will need to pay to your banks in order to satisfy the settlement agreements that you negotiate, and your settlement fund, right? Because those two numbers have to match. The amount of money that you have needs to meet the amount of money that you need. So the reason we're going to go through all of your finances, assets, debts, income, expenses, everything is to make those two numbers match and give them a time frame for when they will, so that as you negotiate settlements, when you're ready to settle, you have the money to do it. It's very, very difficult to say yes to a settlement agreement when you know you don't have the money to do it. It almost disempowers you. Here I am negotiating, but I can't follow through with it when I'm ready. So we're going to get very clear on your accounting, on your finances, and we're going to make sure that that settlement target amount and that settlement fund meet each other so that you're empowered to make the payments to settle your debts and become debt-free. Now for the moment, and I know this occurs in many, many people, if you're already thinking there's no way I can ever come up with a settlement fund in order to match the amount of money, the settlement target amount, just put that aside for a moment. In the next section on strategy, we're going to talk about a lot of different ideas for how to raise a settlement fund, many that I'm sure you haven't thought of, some with situations that you already have under your control. But for now, we're not going to worry about the strategy. This section is about the accounting. Before you can start strategizing on how to raise that settlement fund, you need to be clear on what you have to put towards it. So put that apprehension aside for the moment, just go with me, and let's move into the accounting. As I said, if this is your first time through the video, you may not need to do all of these exercises yet. You'll start thinking about them as you go. You'll have some rough numbers you'll want to write down and some margins and things. But if this is your second time through the video, this is the one you really want to start digging into to get this very clear sense of your entire financial life. So you can start looking at that equation between the settlement target amount and the settlement fund from a place of real clarity and business-like numbers sense. I've already talked about my love of acronyms, the Easy Business Plan. So I was getting into this section on accounting and I was kind of racking my brain. I'm like, what's an easy way to remember it? What's the little framework? I'm like, I couldn't come with anything. I just didn't have any ideas. And then literally it was like a light bulb went off and my brain said, ideas. IDEAS. Income, debts, expenses, assets, and savings. And in this case, the savings, the S is even better because it's savings for your settlement fund. So I was like, boom, that's it. That's my acronym, ideas. That's what's going to be guiding us through the accounting section. I mean, if that's not easy to remember, then I really am out of ideas. And I am going to take a few moments here to talk about that settlement target spreadsheet that I mentioned earlier in the course, one of the additional products that I do offer. If you're familiar with Excel, you may be comfortable just going into Excel or numbers on Apple, some kind of spreadsheet that allows you to calculate these numbers for yourself. If you have a working knowledge of them, but not a deep knowledge of them, you may or may not want to spend the week that I spent putting together this spreadsheet. What I like about this spreadsheet is that it's more than just a list of the numbers. It actually does many of the carryovers and the calculations for you. So I'll show you how it works here and in some more videos along the way. But basically, when you enter one number in one column, say over here under your income, that number will propagate itself elsewhere in the spreadsheet for you to use later when you need it. When you enter your credit card balances here, they show up later when you're calculating your settlement target amount. And what I really like is that as you enter your settlement fund information, you can start to choose how much of a percentage of what asset to put into the fund, how much percentage of what income to put into the fund, and you can see that it all calculates for you until it starts to show you that settlement target amount, settlement fund match. So I really love this spreadsheet. It's color coordinated. I thought it was a great idea. as they say. If you purchased this course separately, it came with it, so that's great news. If you purchased the book first and then this course, you may or may not have purchased the settlement target spreadsheet. I highly recommend it. It's not expensive at all. You can click on the link further down on this page to go have a look. Either way, whether you use mine or create your own, some type of useful spreadsheet to keep track of these numbers is going to be very, very helpful for you, much more so than just writing them all down on a piece of paper. So with that said, with a look at the settlement target spreadsheet, let's start moving forward into assessing your income.